Let me ask you something. Do you actually know what your cat enjoys when you're with them? Not what you assume, not what looks cute in the moment, what they actually feel. Because here's the thing most cat owners never realize. Some of the gestures we use to show love, the ones that feel the most natural to us, are the ones our cats find the most uncomfortable. And it's not their fault, and it's not yours either. It's just that cats are wired differently than we think. And when we miss that, we don't just fail to connect, we accidentally push them away. By the end of this video, you're going to see your cat differently, and the way you interact with them will never quite be the same. Let's start with the one that surprises people the most. Most cat owners do this. Your cat rolls over, stretches out, exposes their belly, and you think, that's an invitation. That's them saying, touch me here. So you reach down and you rub it. And then suddenly, teeth, claws, that familiar scramble away from your hand. Here's why that keeps happening. In the wild, a cat's belly is their most vulnerable area. It houses every vital organ. Exposing it is not an invitation for touch. It's actually a sign of comfort in your presence. It means they feel safe enough around you to let their guard down completely. Researchers studying feline body language have noted that the belly display is a posture of emotional relaxation, not a request for physical contact. The cat is saying, I trust you enough to be vulnerable here. That's actually huge. But the moment you reach in, you trigger something deep and biological. An instinct that says, something is touching my most unprotected place. And the reaction, the bite, the kick, isn't aggression. It's reflex. So here's what actually works. When your cat rolls over like that, just pause. Look at them softly. Maybe say something quietly. Let the moment be what it is. That's trust being built, right there, without a single touch. And if you think that one surprised you, the next one is something almost every cat owner does multiple times a day. We pick up our cats constantly. It feels loving. It looks loving. They're small, they're soft, and we want to hold them close. But for most cats, being scooped up without warning is one of the most disorienting things we do to them. Think about it from their perspective. Cats are animals that are simultaneously predator and prey. Their entire nervous system is tuned to awareness, where they are, how they got there, and how they can get out if they need to. When you pick them up suddenly, you remove all of that. They didn't choose to be up there. They have no clear path down. They can't predict what you're going to do next. Even if they trust you completely, their body hasn't fully caught up to that trust yet. A study on cat stress behaviors found that unpredictable handling, even from familiar owners, consistently triggered low-level stress responses in cats, including increased heart rate and muscle tension. It wasn't the holding, it was the lack of control. So what actually helps? Give them a second. Let your hand come toward them slowly, visibly. Let them sniff you. Let them lean in first. Then lift, gently, supporting their whole body. When a cat chooses the contact, everything changes. Their body relaxes. They stay. Sometimes they even lean against you. That's where the real bond forms, in the choice. This one feels counterintuitive, because eye contact between humans is how we show attention and warmth. So we do it with our cats. We look at them, directly, holding their gaze because it feels like a moment of connection. But to a cat, direct, sustained eye contact is actually a form of social pressure. In feline communication, a hard stare from another animal almost always signals a challenge or a threat. It's the prelude to conflict. When you stare at your cat, even with the softest intention, part of their brain is processing that as confrontational. Here's what's fascinating, though. Cats can learn to read human faces over time. And researchers at the University of Sussex found something remarkable. Cats respond positively to what's called a slow blink from their owners. When humans slowly close and reopen their eyes while looking at a cat, cats not only mirror the behavior back, they also move closer. The slow blink is essentially a cat's version of a smile. A visual softening that says, I am not a threat, I am here with you. So next time your cat looks at you, try it. Soften your gaze. Slowly close your eyes. Open them gently. Your cat feels safe, and you become something familiar in a language they actually understand. If you've ever been mid-petting session and suddenly your cat turned around and bit your hand, not hard, but enough to make you stop, you've experienced what behaviorists call petting-induced overstimulation. Most owners assume the cat is moody or unpredictable or just a little mean. But here's what's actually happening. Cats have a much lower threshold for physical stimulation than we do. Repeated stroking in the same place builds up sensory tension in their nervous system. What starts as pleasant gradually becomes overwhelming. And because they don't have the words to say, "Okay, I need a break now," they use the only clear signal they have left. The thing is, they were giving signals before that. Subtle ones, a slight tail flick, a shifting of weight, ears that rotated back just a little, skin that rippled along the back. Most owners miss those signals completely, not because they don't care, because they were never taught what to look for. So the better approach is this: pet in shorter intervals. Watch their body while you do it. When you see any of those small signals, even if it still seems like they're enjoying it, pause. Let them reset. Let them come back to you if they want more. That small shift in how you read them changes everything. You stop being someone who overwhelms them. You become someone they can trust to pay attention. And if you're learning something new from this video, consider subscribing. This channel is built for people who want to go deeper with their animals, not just own them, but genuinely understand them. Cats have hearing that operates at nearly twice the frequency range of humans. They can detect sounds we can't even register. They can hear things 3 rooms away with the kind of clarity that would exhaust us if we experienced it for a single minute. So when you laugh loudly right next to them, clap your hands to call them, or drop something near where they're resting, even if it doesn't feel loud to you, it can be genuinely jarring to them. Most owners don't think of this because we calibrate sound for ourselves. We forget that we're living alongside a creature whose entire sensory world is turned up higher than ours. The effect over time isn't just startling them in the moment. Repeated acoustic stress is one of the most common hidden contributors to anxiety in indoor cats. A cat who seems skittish, distant, or reluctant to come close is often a cat whose nervous system has been quietly overwhelmed by the noise level of the home. The simple correction? Move more quietly in their space. Speak in a lower register when they're nearby. If you need to get their attention, use their name softly once and wait. A calm environment isn't just comfortable for them. It tells them on a biological level that no threat is present, that they're safe, that you understand their world, not just yours. That's trust being built, through silence as much as through touch. Wait until you hear the last one, though. It's the simplest thing on this list, and somehow it's the one most people never think about. Your friend comes over. They love cats. They reach straight for yours. Or maybe you brought a new pet home and you pushed them together quickly, hoping they'd just figure it out. We do this because we want harmony. We want everyone to get along. We want our cat to be social and easy and friendly. But cats are not pack animals. They didn't evolve to form instant bonds with unknown creatures. They evolved to be careful, to observe from a distance, to decide on their own time whether something new is safe. When we push that process, when we force the interaction, we don't speed up the bonding, we interrupt it. We teach the cat that new equals loss of control, and that lesson sticks. Animal behavior research consistently shows that cats who are given full autonomy during introductions, allowed to approach on their own terms, allowed to retreat without being followed, form more stable, lasting bonds than those who are introduced quickly and forcibly. The correct approach is patience that most of us aren't used to. Give your cat elevated space where they can observe without being reached. Let them sit high and watch. Don't push anyone toward them. Don't apologize for their distance. Their willingness to eventually approach, on their own, is one of the most profound things a cat can offer you. That approach means something. It was chosen. You become home, slowly, through consistent safety, not constant contact. This last one is so simple that almost no one talks about it. We rush. We come home and we're moving fast, making food, checking our phone, talking out loud. We exist at a human pace in a space that a cat moves through slowly and intentionally. And most cats, especially sensitive ones, spend a significant portion of their day just trying to adapt to that energy, to recalibrate, to find the stillness inside the noise of us. What cats actually respond to more than anything else is a human who can slow down near them. Not forever, not even for long, just occasionally choosing to be still. Sit on the floor, not calling them over, not reaching out, just being present, quietly, in their space. Something shifts when you do that. Cats are extraordinarily attuned to the emotional state of the people they live with. They can read tension in the body, they can feel urgency, and they can feel ease too. When you sit quietly, when you breathe slowly, when you ask nothing of them, they notice. And eventually, they come. Not because you called them, not because you had food, because you were still enough to be safe, patient enough to be trusted, present enough to be real to them. That's the most overlooked thing in every cat relationship. Not a technique, not a trick, just the willingness to exist on their terms for a few minutes. That's where the bond lives. Cats don't ask for much. They don't demand our time the way other pets might. They don't follow us room to room or greet us at the door every time. But they watch. They remember. They build an internal picture of who we are based on 1,000 small moments. How we moved, how we sounded, how often we listened. Every time you slow down, every time you read their signal and respond to it, every time you let them choose, you're adding something to that picture. And one day, you'll be sitting quietly and your cat will walk across the room for no reason you can explain and settle right next to you. That's not random. That's the result of every small thing you got right.